When was the last time you were actually surprised by a client? Meaning, who came in and thought they knew exactly what they wanted and left in a totally different direction?
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite stories that comes to mind right when you ask that question. And this client's become a friend of mine till this day. So this was, I think it was about 2.5 years ago. I had a client come in, and I deal with a lot of relocation clients. I'm born and raised in South Florida. I know all the areas very well. So they look to me for guidance. So I actually had a client come in. He was working at a hotel in Miami Beach, and he wanted to buy a condo in Miami. All right. He said the one thing he said to me though, he goes, I don't mind driving as long as it's not more than 45 minutes, which is actually a pretty long commute, right? So we start looking, we sit down, we start diving into the market. I show him a few condos, and I realize, I looked at him, I said, I don't think you really want that condo lifestyle, right? You're spending five, six, seven, $800,000 on a condo in Miami, and you're not getting the things you want, which is privacy, space, and so we actually dive in. And I said, "Are you really sure about that 45-minute commute? Because that really opens up your options." And he was serious about it. Where he had come from, I think it was the Chicago area. He was driving more than an hour to his job. So perspective for him, 45 minutes wasn't that bad. So we actually ended up exploring other places, and he actually ended up buying a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath townhouse up in the Fort Lauderdale area that had 2,500 square feet under air. So he went from looking at 800, 900 square foot 1 or 2 bedroom condos all the way to a 3-bedroom townhouse, which lived like a single family home with a ton of square footage. And I think his commute was only 35, 40 minutes. So it really surprised me. But again, you don't know what they're looking for until you really dive in, especially with these out of town buyers who don't know the area. So that was a fun little story, and it worked out. And again, we're friends till this day. I ended up selling that townhouse for him a couple years later, and he moved to another area. But yeah, you never know what's going to happen in real estate.